What is up, everybody? So today we're going to be talking about some tips and tricks, things that I've learned while playing good old Crusader Kings 3 here that might benefit some of y'all. So the first thing that we're going to do here is we're going to do a Viking start. Once again, it's my favorite. It is what it is. But this really could apply anywhere. A little bit different for starting center over here in all the different tribal regions of early Russia, and then you have some of the more western countries here. But it's a little bit different if you start in this area. There's a little bit more opportunity for growth. But today what we're going to be talking about is some different play styles that are available to you. So first thing we're going to do here, we're going to set up our ruler. Now, you could play as the character that's present. I have a series going that starts with just the present character. No changes there. We're going to get a randomized name here. Let's go with... We will be... Ani. See if we can find a good name. This might take a minute. Ganupa. Ganupa it is. Alright, so we're going to customize our dynasty here. Start from scratch. We are going to pick our emblem first and foremost. So looking at what we got to choose here, we got our abstract. What do we got in man-made here? So we are going to go with white and black sails on a red ship. Our background, that was a little bit rude. Alright. Just like that. The background here, color will be white. Oh, yellow looks good. We'll go with yellow. And that... Hold on, we're making some changes. Alright, that is going to be our dynasty emblem. Fortune. Alright. Finish that up. We can keep that symbol, that's fine. We are going to redo our education here. We are going to go with Fortune Builder to start. Actually, yeah, we'll go with Fortune Builder. We're going to go with Wrathful. We'll be Wrathful and Brave, but we will also be... Let's see here. We'll be arrogant as well. Throwing some other traits. We're going to start at the young age. It's not letting me move it. of 17 here. We want to boost up our martial a bit here. And our stewardship just a tiny amount. We're going to pump the prowess in case somebody wants to challenge us to a duel. We are going to go ahead and toss on. We're going to do Novice Hunter and Aspiring Blade Master. And then we are going to mess with our perks a bit. Intrigue. We're not a sneaky fellow. We're not. Heavy-handed. Alright. So that is that. I'm going to change his appearance a bit. He is going to be... Let's see here. Whatever. That'll do. Alright. Now, some of this initial setup can be pretty important. If you're going for achievements and things like that, you want to keep it under 400. That way your achievements are available. Your culture is important depending on where you start, because that will decide whether you have friends or enemies in whatever way that you start. Your faith as well really changes up what is going to go on around you. The difficulty of making those places in your favor. Alright, and there we are. We are under our cap of 400. Finalize the character. Alright, we've got Chieftain Ganuppa of Ulsterland. Alright, so... Enabled. So we've got Iron Man and our achievements enabled. Again, important if you like achievements. I do like them. It's nice to get that little reward every once in a while. And we're going to go ahead and start it up here. Alright, so first things first, a couple things you want to take a look at. You're going to want to look at your open situations up here. So you have no player air. First thing that we're going to do is find a spouse. Now, there's a couple different things that you can look at when finding a spouse. Generally, for my first ruler, I don't really look at the alliance gains. I look for perks. Now you can see the perks right here. So different perks have different things. If you're going for like the best ever that you can do, you really got to go through and look and see what your options are. If I can't find any good perks, then I look at skills. So looking at skills, we want to check out and see where they sit at in here. So this would be a good example as somebody to take as my wife, because their martial is so high. However, if I wanted to improve my kingdom in some other way, I'd look at what else is available to me. Now, this woman has good learning. Good learning could indicate a profitable marriage in the fact that you could make her possibly your physician. So let's take a look here. We got a couple of alliances right off the back. I'm not super interested in making alliances with the people close to me, but we're just going to do a quick little scan. So Freya here is pretty well-rounded, good diplomat. Eugenia, although she is Gaelic, which could create tension later on down the line, does have Brilliant Strategist. So quite a bonus to the Marshal there. So let's see. Ulfhildr is very good with Steward. So I think what we will do here is we will go with Ulfhildr. Or Alfhildr. Let's look at an intrigue. We've got Svanhildr for intrigue. Svanhildr Strongjaw. What about diplomacy? Diplomacy's in... Alright, so what I'm thinking is that we choose someone. I think we're probably going to go back with Freya here. Pretty well rounded in all things, and will give us a moderate bonus to all of our skills, except for intrigue. That's it. That's the first time I've ever seen a 0 in intrigue, but that's alright. That's what we hire good spy masters for, you know what I'm saying? Alright, so we're going to go ahead and pick Freya. I'll lose 100 crowns, but that's okay. Alright, so we've got Freya selected there. Next thing we want to do is go into here, and then we want to choose our lifestyle. Now, you don't always have to go with the one that is the most prevalent for you. Some of these lifestyles are filled with very, very good skills. However, other lifestyles have different bonuses. So, what we are going to go here we are going to go with wealth focus. Our monthly income goes up by plus 10%. That'll allow us to, or actually, rather, let's go with domain focus. So, what this will do is it'll give us a strict increase in our stewardship skill. Plus 3. So, we're going to go ahead and go with domain focus. Now, generally, we have an empty council position. So this gives us an opportunity to kind of look at... Ooh. Bjorg. Alright, so we're going to go ahead and throw Bull in there instead. Because Bull has a much better chance of doing that. So we're missing some folks here. We need to go and recruit, per se. We are also going to start a sway scheme on our good Godi. And the reason that is, so you want to be, generally you want your religious figure in your court to like you. Reason for this being, if they don't, we won't gain any levies or taxes from his church holdings. Now, not as big of a deal for this initial start, but later on down the line, or if you're playing as a different theological or religious background, i.e. Catholicism, and some of the other religions throughout the realm, you lose a big chunk of your military power, and that's not good for anybody. So, we're not endorsed by our Godi. We're working on fixing that. We have few champions. We can hire a court physician, and we can declare wars. Now, at the moment, our neighbor, who is a Catholic Norse person, is Chiefdom Alder, the Deep-Minded. 34 years old, has a military similar in size to ours, although slightly better troops. So, the first thing that we're going to go ahead and do here is we're going to come in here and we're going to make a decision. So, looking at it, you can see what their military is comprised of. So they've got bowmen, figmen, and bondi. Archers, and to tie it all off, spearmen. So, we want something that can counter this. So if you click here, you can see what units counter their units. So you have Huskarls, which counter spearmen and archers. You have Varangian veterans, which counter spearmen and heavy cavalry. You've got the Bondi, which are good against light cavalry and archers. Pikemen, which are good against all cavalry. Bowmen, Figmen, light horsemen, and so on and so forth. So, what we are going to do is you got a couple options. So we are going to go with Huskarls. However, if you wanted to go for something that was slightly cheaper in the Prestige, you could go with light horsemen. But I choose Huskarls because, you know. Alright, so we're going to let that go to pass. We have our new wife. And now we're going to take a look at the realm. So we need to generate some cash, and we need to generate some prestige. So what we're going to do is take our military here, and we are going to go a raiding. The other thing that this will provide for us, this money, we need knights, or champions rather, for the Viking kingdoms. And for most starts in 867, you're going to be starting as tribal. Being tribal allows you to do a couple things, with the exception of the Catholics, I believe, unless you reform the faith. You can raid. Now, the good thing about raiding is for one, you can get quite good vassals off of it. Pretty much off the back. Or not vassals, pardon me. You can get quite good champions from that. So we're going on a raid here. The important thing to remember is while you're raiding, you can't declare war on anybody. And that's important to remember because somebody could declare war on you while you're raiding. So if you're coming back to your mainland with a depleted force, you are already in somewhat dire straits. And hopefully you've made allies by that time. Now, while we're going on our little raiding adventure here, let's talk about allies. Allies are both an annoyance and an amazing saving grace, depending on the size of the ally that's coming to aid you. The reason that I say this is because allies will call you into their wars. Now, if you're already fighting a war of your own, and you don't move to help them, it could look pretty bad. I've had kingdoms threaten to end their alliance with me because I didn't come to their aid. Oh, we're going to sail down to good old Ireland, because it hasn't been raided yet. But they can also be a saving grace if in the fact that you get attacked by a much larger nation. Now, these large nations pose a number of problems for you because... Oh, cool. If you are a smaller nation, most of the time the AI seeks to expand. The AI doesn't particularly care about playing tall, as you can in other Paradox games, such as EU4 or, what is that, man? What's the space one? There's a space one that's out. I can't remember the name of it. But it does not, the AI does not care about playing tall. They don't. That is not their problem. Oh, they're trying to take a raid away from us, so we're going to go take the raid away from them. Oh, if they don't get jumped. They actually won. Wow, I thought that was pretty well matched. My opinions don't matter. But anyways, when you have a larger nation, let's say that you're playing as Brittany, Leon, Montague, and you make enemies with West Francia because West Francia wants what you got. Now, as you can see in size here compared to the military sizes, they've got about 6,200 troops, where Count Haston here has about 3,500. He has no allies. He can't call for help. No one is coming. He has to hope that he can hold the line with what little bit he has. Chances of him being successful? Slim to none. So it's things like that that are important to remember. Did we make it to our next target yet? No, but we're almost there. But that's the importance of having an alliance. It can be pretty detrimental having alliances when you're called into wars, because a lot of times the AI will take advantage of your weakened military from supporting in that war. If the war goes in your favor, okay, cool, you can call that ally you just helped to come help you. The other important thing to remember is that when you are declaring wars, it costs prestige to call your allies to help you. However, if war is declared upon you, it costs nothing to call your allies to aid. And you can use that in your favor oftentimes to sway battles that you would normally lose in your favor and reap the rewards if you and your allies can overcome whoever is attacking you. Now, another cool thing about raiding, we're actually going to go back out to sea and come back with the loot that we got. Another cool thing about raiding is that it is a dual source of income, meaning that, oh, somebody wants to come for a tussle, meaning that not only if you come back successful do you get the raid loot, which doesn't only give you raid loot, it also gives you prestige. You can also get valuable prisoners. Now, why are valuable prisoners important, you might ask? Well, there's a couple different reasons. If you capture a ruler, you could put a hook on them. Hooks are important for if you have certain skills. You could blackmail them and get money back in return. Essentially, creating all kinds of interesting little things that could occur. So, the other thing that you could do is you could execute the prisoner, or you can hold them for a grand blow for the Vikings in particular, which is a ritual sacrifice type deal where all the people in the realm come. Or you can ransom them for money. Both of these people are worth 10. We're going to take a look at their skills. Not the best, not the brightest. She is decent, but I see no reason to hold on to either of them, and we need the money right now. So we're going to go ahead and ransom them off. You can only ransom one person from each province at a time, or realm, rather. So we're going to go ahead and do that. And we're victorious, so we will sail away into the sun. So we just earned 20 gold just from the prisoners alone. And then we are going to sail back with 67. My wife is pregnant. That is excellent. Our prestige has grown to 380. So we're going to let our people, our warband here, I'm leading it. We are going to let them sail back to Ulsterland, our main province here. and we are going to generate a little bit of money. Now, the reason that my holdings are so high is because of my high stewardship skill. Stewardship allows you to control more territories. It allows you to negate having to have vassals. Vassals, especially early game as a tribal start, are very difficult. You cannot grant them land because it makes them your equal and removes holdings from your domain. Now, you can very comfortably go 2 or 1 to 3, I would say, provinces above your domain limit. Your holdings. Holdings are important because they generate, let's see. Now, another important thing here, something that took me a while to understand is your supplies. Your supplies have a lot to do with the strength of your raiding party or warband, because that is the difference between losing troops during a siege, during a battle, en route to a battle, and arriving with a well-fed, very strong army. That, and you also receive penalties if you engage in combat while not having supplies or being extremely low on supplies. We are doing quite well for ourselves at the moment. Our neighbors here don't have much to raid. That's okay. We're going to sail back out, and we are going to head out to the coast here of what is Sweden and Norway. And we're going to do a little bit of raiding, because all of these nations here are quite small. The first places that we seek to invade are going to be along the coast here, when we are ready to start attacking. Because they are so small, it allows us time to spread quite fast, hopefully before Bjorn gets his military under him and starts his conquest. Now, eventually Bjorn is going to attempt to form Sweden. He's in his 40s. He hasn't spread out too much, but I guarantee you by the time he gets around 60, he's going to have most of Sweden, and his military will have grown quite considerably. Alright, so we are off the coast here. We're going to go ahead and head over to Ulfasund. And then we're going to hit up Mari. And then we are going to hit up, I can't pronounce that, Heimer. And then we might go all the way up here to Halogalad. I had a daughter. Her name will be Gida. And she is our heir because we are Norse culture. Men and women could hold land equally. And to raiding, we go up the coastline here. We'll probably get to around the same amount of money. 60s in there. And then we'll sail back. We are going to go ahead and increase the size of our troops here, because my whole goal is that I want to have a stronger base of military. Now, you might be thinking, well, what's the difference? The difference between your normal levies and your men-at-arms. So, we can see here, our men-at-arms do a base damage and have a base defense of around 10. However, if you come down to our Huskarls, as you can see, there is a quite large multiplier that's going on right there. If we look at our Vigman, again, quite large, not as great. And then our Bondi, again, quite good. Now you might be looking at this and you're thinking, okay, you've talked about the unit types that they can go after, that they're effective against, but what do these mean? Alright, so you have your damage base, which, self-explanatory, damage is the damage that they apply during battles. You've got your defense, how they do in their defense rolls. And then you have pursuit and screen. Now, as you can see, a screen is a defeated army reduces the amount of casualties they take in the aftermath of a battle by their army's combined screen value. So a screen is if you lose a battle, your army is retreating. How many casualties do you take while your army is retreating? It's all dependent on your screen number. Your pursuit number. What is this? Your pursuit number is a victorious army increases the amount of casualties they inflict in the aftermath of a battle. Now this really is and can make or break conquests that you are leading in whatever part of the world. Pursuit is how much damage you do to that military after you've already won the battle and they're running away. You can break entire militaries with cavalry. I've done it as the Khans in the Asian empires. I've done it as India with elephant cavalry. You can destroy whole militaries easily or reduce them to a point where they're non-problematic for anybody. Another thing that you have down here is the terrain effects. So, as you can see, in different terrains, militaries have different bonuses. But that's that. Each unit has a unique one, and I definitely encourage you to take a look at that. We've recruited another knight there, or champion rather. We have a perk available. Now, going into your perks, there's a couple different things that you can see. You have 3 trees here, each one granting a final perk that gives you a very good base skill. So you've got Avaricious, Architect, and Administrator. Each one of these provides different bonuses, all of which I think are pretty important. For now, we are going to go with our Architect. So, actually, hold that thought. Let's see here. We're going to go with Golden Obligations. Golden Obligations allows you to demand payment for hooks. Now, what are hooks? Hooks are different things that you get on various people. You always get a weak hook on your children and your brothers and sisters. You will mostly get hooks from your Spy Master. Your Spy Master will go out and about doing different things around the realm. Right now we have them focused on disrupt schemes, support schemes, or find secrets. They're focused on disrupt schemes. I don't want to get snuck up on. Let's see. Ooh, what are you good at? What are you good at, Skilder? Alright, so we are going to make Skilder our Marshal, and we are going to make Andres our Diplomat. We captured Chief Magnus' daughter and heir Yoren and his daughter Tortoise. This Magnus of Mary. Alright. That's good. That's good. Why is that good? Because money. 50 gold right there. Easiest money we ever made. Tortoise here is worth 10, but that's fine. They'll both be going home quite quick. Another notable guest has arrived. Let's take a look. Hroldolfr. Hroldolfr. Kven. So we are going to go ahead and recruit him. We're going to pay 41. He's worth his weight. So it appears that I should have waited, because Andres is now going to become our steward. And Kven is going to become our marshal. We're having some good raids. Oh, we don't want to go there. So we are going to go up here to Chiefdom of that. Now, the reason that I am not going here, it's mountains. Mountains will cause attrition. So we'll lose about 100 troops. Now, you might be thinking, 100 troops isn't too bad. However, if we look at the size of the forces in these different places, knocking us down to about 900 troops is bad news bears. The reason being is that we become more susceptible to counterattacks like these gentlemen here, and we are bound to lose men during the military engagement, in which we will soon be a part of. We have a ransom. He'd like to pay 10 for his son back. That's fine. We'll take that. It says we are evenly matched. So this will be an interesting time. We'll let them come. They can come and fight for it. Now, it looks as if the battle is going to be quite pitched. It's going to be quite close. We might lose here, ladies and gentlemen. And this is another important thing that you need to look at when you're playing this. You need to look at the terrain you'll be fighting in. Why is the terrain important? The terrain is important because if the defending or attacking army has a commander who is well-versed in fighting, and we only pulled that off barely. This time for us to ship out. If the attacking commander is well-versed in the lands that they are fighting in, they will overcome you 9 times out of 10 if they have the levies and the men-at-arms to support that. We're going to go ahead and sail back home here. Deposit our cash, and we'll let our raiders rest, recoup, and we'll let our army rebuild because we don't want to be attacked. Alright, now, with the money we had, let's look at what we can build here. So it only costs us 75 gold and 200 prestige to build some things. So, looking at it here, the first thing that we're going to do is we're going to go ahead and build palisades. That'll give us extra levies. It'll allow the garrison of our main capital here to have 150 garrison, which could potentially block a siege. And it'll increase our fort level by 1. It also increases damage of various units across the board. We have a son. He will be... we will name him... Balder. We have a decision available to us. But we will hold off for now. Once our military regains its size here, what we will do is go ahead and since we're going to be sitting at about 1,600 troops, we're going to go ahead and attack Vesterland here. Now, our first goal is to secure our immediate surroundings. It's a little bit different if, say, you're over here. It's a little bit more difficult to secure your immediate surroundings. But you want to make sure that your realm size is manageable and that you are able to increase the infrastructure in it. Because the more you increase the infrastructure, the more levies you get, and the more money you're generating, as well as the amount of prestige you are generating. So, while we're at home, the first thing that we're going to do is we're going to go for a hunt. Sound the horn. Now, this will go ahead and increase our prestige by a set amount, generally anywhere between 100 to 300, I believe. This one will gain us 500 stewardship lifestyle. I'll read this for you guys. As we ride deep into the Chiefdom of Nordland, the ground grows wetter and the air grows heavier. Suddenly, from out of the greenery surrounding us, a giant of a man appears, hulking in layer upon layer of dirty clothing. "Explain yourself," he shouts. "What are you doing in my marshland?" Sounds like Shrek. So we have a couple challenges here. So, your marshland, is it? Then show us around. We gain local guide, which gives us prowess +2 and 500 stewardship lifestyle experience. That is awesome. That is a great thing to get early in game. Go ahead and knock us right towards our next level up in stewardship. Let's talk this through. So we have a 69% of gaining listen to local concerns. Our control growth gains +1 a month. Or 30%. He's beyond reasoning, and we spend 75 prestige. Or we could do here's something to hunt finally, which increases our dread by 20. The wild man loses his mind, and we gain killed local for 5 years, a debuff. So our control growth still goes up by 1, but popular opinion drops to me a little bit. Popular opinion is important because that is what controls factions. If a faction is raised against you, even a peasant faction, it'll take a hit on your levies. Not only that, it'll take a hit to your overall control, and you'll have to spend a lot of time micromanaging your regions in order to gain your control back. So we're going to go with the top one. That's an easy pick for me. Personally, depends on your character, depends on how you are playing, but for me personally, that's an easy sell for me. Just like that, we got another perk. So, we're going to take a look here. We can use the extort subjects decision. We can demand extra gold from subjects. What we are going to do is we are going to go ahead and go with Hergeld. That'll give us +10% gold monthly from our vassals. We don't have any vassals. Whatever. So we gained 150 prestige from that. Another bonus on top of what we already had. Now, we're going to hold a feast. Send the invitations. So, feasts also can improve your prestige, they can improve your mood, reduce stress, all kinds of things. I'll get into stress once we get through this little bit here. So stress is going to be measured in this meter down here. Now, again, depending on how you want to play, because sometimes you just want to have fun. You don't want to focus on getting achievements or whatever else. Stress is important because, well, it's not important. It's detrimental because it can create all kinds of negative factors for you. Or you can negate those negative factors and just continue stacking on stress, whatever. But stress can lead to multiple different things. It also affects your character's health. So for now, we're at 0 stress, but later on, if we get our stress higher, we'll talk about that then. I'm sure it'll happen. Feast, a laudable effort. I'm arrogant, so I gain 20 stress if I choose this. However, it increases my wife's opinion of me, and it also gives me household efforts for 5 years. Direct vassals grow. They like me +5 more. Courtiers and guests gain 10 on me. I have done a great job. I gain 150 crowns, and my wife loses 10 opinion of me. Now, we're going to go with the bottom one. Just because we want our wife to like us. She is a powerful agent in schemes against us. So again, we have some options here. We had interesting conversation, which increases our diplomacy and learning by +1 each for 10 years. Or I could go closer to growing a friendship with my wife. We're going to go that route. Alright, our military here is almost built back up. We're just waiting a little bit longer. guests have departed. We gained 150 prestige, and every guest gained 20 opinion of me. Perfect. Alright. So, the next thing that we are going to do is we are going to go ahead and check out our neighboring counties here. It looks like Barryar down there is prime for the taking. But first, what we are going to go ahead and do over here is construct some war camps. Yep, we are going to construct some war camps because that will increase our levies. It also allows us to have +1 knights. Then that'll also be the next thing that we build over here in Austerland. So the next place that we are going to go ahead and take is going to be this portion. Just because taking a look at the two counties and which one they have spent more time and money on, the control over here is looking a little rough. So we've got him focused on collecting taxes, which is good. That increases our money for the moment. Palisades are coming along quite well. War camps are working on it. Let's see. Alright, so we're going to be talking a little bit about this bar over here. So you've got your realm. You have your Chiefdom of Austerland. We have the option to pass limited tribal authority. It'll cost us 222 prestige, but we can imprison characters. We can settle, becoming feudal or clan. And then it also shows the duchies that we hold, or the areas that we hold, rather. We can see all of our vassals. We have none. It's the right move. Our succession, which is right now our son, which, speaking of which, we'll get to that. The other things that we can see in here is we have different options up here. So this can be things that are created over time. So we are going to go ahead and pass limited tribal authority. Alright, and you can also change your gender law, which is always going to be male preference, and our succession law, which is Confederate partition. Now, these change different things. All children inherit equally. We could change that to just partition, high partition, and just different things here. Alright. You can also change your preferences here. Now, let's take a look at... We've already talked a lot about the military, but we haven't talked about the other tabs in here. You can raise all your armies if you're in a war. You can raise all your armies as raiders, which is what I did earlier so that I could raid other nations, or you just have the option to disband all. Now, in this tab, you can see your army, your champions, your levies, and things of that nature. Speaking of which, we have another man to recruit. You can see your men-at-arms, how many units, or singular units, of men-at-arms you can have. So we can have 3 of 3. Mercenaries that are available for hire. At the moment, there's 4, but over time, that will grow significantly. And then holy orders. So we have no holy orders, but for Catholicism, you're going to have a couple of different options off the top of my head. I know that the different nations over in the Middle East and Eastern Africa have some options. I'm not sure about Western Africa. I haven't played many civilizations over here, but that could be something we could check out in the future. Notably for Catholicism, you are going to have the Knights Hospitaller, Knights Templar, so on and so forth. But that pretty much covers the military tab. You're going to have your council, which is all your council members and their skills in their relevant field. The courtiers, which is going to be all of your empty positions currently at court. It's important to ensure that if you are going to put somebody in a position, that they like you, They'll gain a slight bonus, but you want to make sure they're like you, especially if this is listed right here. Powerful agent in schemes against you. You want to make sure that person likes you. It's important. Because if somebody wishes ill intent upon you and they can recruit whoever your food taster is, you're going to have a bad time. You can see all of the courtiers that are currently in your court at the moment, which includes your children, guests, your vassals, anything like that. And any prisoners you have here. In your intrigue, you can see any of your current schemes, your discovered current schemes, and hostile schemes. You can also take a look at your hooks and secrets. Again, like I was saying earlier, you're always going to get a weak hook on your children. You can see various factions against you. And then you have your decisions here. So decisions are different things. We are actually going to go in here and determine our personal deity. We're going to go with Thor. But, you know, some different options. As you can see, Feast and Hunt are very good for prestige and other minor bonuses. Then you have Pilgrimage, which is good for your piety. You can search for a physician, which is important if you get harmed. So we're going to go ahead and do that. And that's pretty much it. We can't check out the Royal Court option there just yet because we don't have it. You've got some other larger major decisions up here. You could forge the Yom's Viking. Let's see. Let's take a look here. So this gentleman is a renowned physician. He's not very well learned, but he's a renowned physician. She, however, is not good at all. So we are going to go with Ingjaldr. Because not only can he be our court physician, he can also be one of our champions. Quite well. Alright, so let's get our war underway. So, as you can see, we've got Chief Disorder, the Deep-Minded of Vesterland. Current military size sitting at 1310. We are going to go ahead and right-click. They have consumption. That's rough. We're going to declare war, and we are going to do Conquer County. Now, it gives you the options of the two counties currently held by the Chiefess here. We are going to do Vesterland. We're going to go ahead and declare war. It'll cost us prestige, but it'll be worth it. We'll raise our military here, and we will go after them. We are going to go the land route. And let our troops go ahead and start making their movements. That is a taiga, so it's going to be a little rough on us. We're on the more mountainous side. We should win. It looks like they are trying to make a movement away from us. They are heading for Ulsterland, but in the time that it takes them to get down there, we should already be on their point here, and we'll begin go ahead and attacking it. Got about 8 months left. By the time they get there, they shouldn't have much time, but we'll wait and see. Because we are... well, we're not done with the Palisades yet, but our fort level is 2, so it should still take them about 8 months, give or take. Now, the reason that I did not raid them because I want their infrastructure to be intact. Sometimes when you raid, you get an option to pillage whatever town you are attacking. Currently, I do not want to do that. Let's check out how long it'll take them. It'll take them 8 months as well. We've got about... we should have about 5 months on them. Yeah, Or 3, rather. Who is leading their military? It's not letting us check it right now, but that's alright. So we're almost done here. They're about halfway done. We got about 30 days left. They got about 5 months left. So I was about right. We got about 5 months on them. 4 months, rather. And then when we finish this, we will go ahead and go and screen to defense. Alright. So we're going to go ahead and start making our movement here. Looks like they're going to get it before we can get there. That's alright. Would be unfortunate, though, if they captured my air. That was a poor move on my part. Yep. They got my son. And killed a courtier in the meantime. Alright, so what we're going to go ahead and do, we've got some options here. 60-40, we'll take the 60-40. $63.36, we'll take it. Oops. We failed both persuasion chances. So we're going to go ahead and push this army. Nope. It's the first time they've actually attacked that quickly. So, raised voices at the ting meet. Ting meets are a necessary chore for any decent chieftain. So, another decision here. We are going to go with the one that... Ooh, no we're not. We're going to go with Austerland. Our main city here has my support. We're going to leave enough for the siege here. We're going to push this military back, and then we'll come back and re-siege our home city here. And they're running. Alright, so we are going to do War Profiteer. So yeah, additional 10% while we're at war of money here. Will they escape us? They may. They are quite quick-footed. Yep. But can they do it again? They are retreating to the mountains in the hopes that that will thwart us in our attack. If they try and embark, they will not have enough time to make that move. He got pensive. We need to get him out of that dungeon because he is just not having a good time. We are going to do, again, stewardship focus for him. We are going to look at ourselves because we did gain an artifact. We got the Gilded Rat's Tail, which we don't want at all. And we are going to make our move here on their military. So, as you can see, we have a pretty big bonus in our Huskarls here, because they counter all 3 of the military units that they have available, and it's a pretty outstanding victory. We're going to come back over here to our area. Ugh. We're just going to go without a Chancellor for a bit, I reckon. And we'll go from there. We're going to siege back our capital. Only take us about 5 months. They're going to attempt to siege back their capital. We're currently sitting at a negative 6%. Once we hold our capital again, we should have it back in the buckets. Pensive is good for our son, actually, because he has gained +1 to stewardship. And that's where we want his focus to be anyway. We're back up to 57% here. We're going to go ahead and sail on out to counter our foes over here. And we'll see what happens. They weren't expecting the raid. We are recently disembarked, so we do have a little bit of a negative modifier against this. We broke the siege, so we are going to move over here and push them off of their land. They are going to, once again, they're trying to embark to flee us. They won't be able to. This is in the name of our son. So my wife would like to name the daughter after her. I have no issue with that. We became faithful. We also achieved distinguished. Now, our prestige is taking a hit here because our military is raised. It looks like we chased the enemy army out to sea, so they'll probably flee somewhere down yonder. But for right now, that is of no concern to us. We are sieging their last fort. We're sitting at 99%. So, we're going to go ahead and win. This war has been raging for 3 years. So, our poor son has been stuck in jail for a while here. We're going to go ahead and enforce our demands. So be it. Imprisonment is a cruelty. Alright. So what we need to go ahead and do... Can't invite any champions at the moment. We're going to let our military rebuild a bit here. We need to gather some money so we can create the duchy. But as you can see, I mean, that pretty much lays out the groundwork for a good start here. You want to ensure that your military is of a decent size. I like to have them at least 1/4 higher than the opposing military through men-at-arms or levy sizes. Levy sizes kind of throw in a little bit of a curveball. Sometimes you could win with more. Sometimes you can lose, though. So that's important to keep in mind. If you'd like to see more tips and tricks, beginner guides, anything like that, please let me know. I can pretty much start anywhere and get a good run going. So let me know what you guys want to see.